Have you ever felt like someone was secretly jealous of you, even though they seemed nice? Or maybe you felt like someone was lying to you, but you weren't sure. In our world, people don't always show their true feelings. It's important to be able to tell when someone is jealous or lying to protect yourself from getting hurt. If you don't pay attention, these things can make you feel bad about yourself and ruin your relationships with others. But if you learn from Stoicism, you can learn to see these things clearly and stay calm. Even though envy and lying can be hard to spot, they can mess things up. Sometimes people might seem super nice, but secretly be jealous, or they might say things that aren't true. The Stoics believed that the key to a peaceful life isn't about controlling others, but understanding them and dealing with things wisely. If you can learn to recognize when someone is being envious or lying, you can respond calmly instead of getting upset. This video will teach you 11 ways to spot envy and lies in other people. This will help you feel better about yourself and build real connections with others. We'll discuss things like how to tell when someone is just saying nice things to be polite, and how to trust your gut feeling when something seems wrong. But this isn't about judging people or holding grudges. It's about learning to understand yourself and others, and how to deal with things calmly and sensibly. Get ready to learn how to see the subtle signs of envy and lies around you. This will help you live a calmer and stronger life. 1. Notice subtle signs of comparisons. Envious people often compare themselves to you. They might say nice things, but also subtly criticize you. This can make you feel confused. Their compliments might not sound sincere, and they might seem to be bragging about themselves to make you feel less good about yourself. This often happens in casual conversations where people seem friendly but are secretly competing with you. Envious people often try to make themselves feel better by comparing themselves to others. They might praise you, but then say something that makes your achievement seem less important. For example, they might say, "That's great, but did you get help?" These things might seem harmless, but they show that the person is trying to make themselves feel better by making you feel less good. Stoicism teaches us to observe people without judging them, to see what's going on, and to understand why they act the way they do. Noticing these things isn't about thinking the worst of people, but about being aware. By noticing when people compare themselves to you, you can be kind to them and still protect yourself. The goal isn't to fight with them, but to understand them, be kind to yourself, and set limits so you don't get hurt. 2. Pay attention to excessive praise or flattery. Excessive praise or flattery can sometimes feel like a warm embrace, but it's worth pausing to consider its sincerity. When someone showers you with compliments that seem over the top or oddly timed, it may not always stem from genuine admiration. Instead, it can be a mask for hidden motives or even envy. People who feel insecure or envious might use flattery as a way to gain your favor, disarm you, or conceal their true feelings. While it may sound kind on the surface, such praise often lacks authenticity and can leave you feeling uneasy without knowing why. Imagine someone who constantly compliments you, yet their words feel hollow, as if they're trying too hard. They may go out of their way to highlight your accomplishments in public or exaggerate their admiration to a point that feels unnatural. Behind this facade, there might be an unspoken struggle within them, an attempt to either align themselves with your success or obscure their insecurities. This doesn't mean you should immediately distrust kind words, but it's wise to stay aware of the intentions behind them. Stoicism teaches us to focus on truth and clarity, which helps in see-through pretenses. By recognizing excessive or insincere praise for what it is, you can remain grounded, neither swayed by undue flattery nor offended by its lack of depth. This awareness doesn't call for judgment, but for balance. acknowledging compliments with gratitude while staying attuned to their authenticity. 3. Watch for passive-aggressive behavior. Passive-aggressive behavior can be like a riddle wrapped in politeness. On the surface, it seems harmless, but underneath, it often carries a sting. This type of behavior is a subtle way people express frustration, resentment, or envy without directly confronting the issue. Veiled criticism, sarcasm, or backhanded compliments are common tools of the passive-aggressive. Instead of openly discussing their feelings, they choose indirect ways to express discontent, leaving you feeling uneasy or unsure about their intentions. Imagine someone saying, "Oh, it must be nice to have so much free time," when you've just shared a personal achievement. It's not a direct insult, but the undertone suggests a lack of genuine happiness for your success. Or perhaps they frequently make sarcastic remarks, joking about your efforts or accomplishments in ways that feel more like digs than humor. These behaviors, while subtle, can often point to envy lurking beneath the surface. Stoicism encourages us to approach such situations with patience and understanding. When you encounter passive-aggressive behavior, it's important not to react impulsively or with anger. Instead, stay calm and observant, recognizing that this behavior may stem from their inner struggles. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect, but rather maintaining your peace while addressing the situation with clarity and kindness if needed. By understanding the roots of such behavior, you can navigate these interactions with grace and avoid being drawn into unnecessary conflict. 4. Observe overly competitive tendencies. Overly competitive tendencies can often reveal deeper emotions like envy or insecurity. When someone constantly feels the need to outdo others, it's not always about striving for personal growth. Sometimes it's driven by a hidden desire to prove their worth or diminish someone else's achievements. This behavior can be subtle, such as turning every conversation into a comparison or ensuring their accomplishments always appear bigger and better. For example, you might share a small win, like completing a project, and they immediately respond with a story about how their recent success was even greater. It's not just friendly sharing, it's a pattern of one-upmanship, where they always need to be ahead in the conversation or situation. Over time, this can create an atmosphere of tension as their need to compete overshadows genuine connection. Such tendencies can stem from a fear of being left behind or feelings of inadequacy. Instead of celebrating others' achievements, they see them as threats to their status or identity. While it can be frustrating to deal with, recognizing this behavior helps you approach it with a clear mind. Stoicism teaches us to remain grounded, focusing on our growth without being drawn into unnecessary competition. When you notice someone's overly competitive behavior, it's important to stay centered, avoid engaging in their game, and understand that their actions reflect their struggles, not their worth. 5. Detect inconsistencies in words and actions. When someone's words and actions don't align, it often signals dishonesty or hidden motives. People practicing falsehood may say one thing to gain trust or admiration, but act in ways that contradict their promises or beliefs. For example, they might speak about the importance of honesty, but twist the truth when it benefits them. These inconsistencies can be subtle at first, but tend to reveal themselves over time. A person might express their support for your goals, but then take actions that undermine your efforts. Or they may claim to value fairness, yet behave in ways that show favoritism or self-interest. Such behavior can create confusion, as their words sound convincing, but their actions tell a different story. It often leaves you questioning their true intentions. These discrepancies stem from a lack of inner integrity. People who are not aligned with their values often find it difficult to maintain consistency because their actions are guided by immediate desires or fears, rather than genuine principles. Stoicism reminds us to judge people not by their words, but by their deeds. Words can be crafted to deceive, but actions reflect a person's true character. Observing this misalignment helps you guard yourself against manipulation and remain grounded in truth. Recognizing such inconsistencies is not about judgment, but about clarity. Understanding the reality of others so you can respond with wisdom and strength. 6. Identify gossip and backbiting. Gossip and backbiting are often rooted in envy and serve as a way for people to bring others down while elevating themselves. When someone speaks ill of others behind their backs, it usually reveals more about their insecurities and feelings of inadequacy than the person they're criticizing. Envy thrives in comparison, and gossip becomes a tool to influence how others perceive someone, often in a negative light. People who gossip may seem charming or well-meaning at first, but their words can carry hidden motives. They might spread half-truths or exaggerations, hoping to tarnish someone's reputation. This behavior not only creates division, but also distracts from their shortcomings. By focusing on others' perceived flaws, they avoid addressing their own. Stoicism teaches us to be wary of such negativity and to rise above it. Engaging in or encouraging gossip only feeds the cycle of envy and falsehood. Instead, observing how someone talks about others gives insight into their character. If they're quick to criticize or mock others in private, they may likely do the same about you when you're not around. Recognizing gossip for what it is, a reflection of envy and insecurity, helps you maintain your peace and integrity. By avoiding such behavior and not giving it power, you protect your mind from unnecessary drama and negativity, staying true to your principles. 7. Be wary of unsolicited advice. Unsolicited advice can sometimes come from a place of genuine care, but other times it may carry hidden motives rooted in envy. When someone offers advice you didn't ask for, especially if it feels overly critical or discouraging, it's worth pausing to consider their intentions. Envy can drive people to present their opinions as helpful guidance, while in reality, their words may be designed to sow doubt and confusion, or even to subtly undermine your confidence. Such advice often highlights your perceived flaws or amplifies challenges rather than offering constructive solutions. The tone might feel condescending, or it could leave you questioning your decisions or abilities. Instead of uplifting you, it subtly chips away at your self-belief. This approach allows the envious person to feel a sense of control or superiority while disguising their motives under the guise of helpfulness. Stoicism teaches us to approach advice with discernment, especially when it's unsolicited. Ask yourself if the advice aligns with your values or if it feels like an attempt to redirect you off your path. True guidance uplifts and empowers, while advice rooted in envy or falsehood often creates doubt or unease. By recognizing the difference, you can protect your mental clarity and stay focused on what truly matters. It's not about dismissing all advice, but about filtering it wisely, ensuring it supports your growth rather than hindering it. 8. Observe how they react to your success. One of the clearest ways to recognize envy is by observing how someone reacts to your success. Genuine people will celebrate your achievements wholeheartedly, sharing in your joy as if it were their own. Their happiness for you is sincere and uplifting, free of any underlying tension or negativity. However, when envy lurks beneath the surface, the response is often far different. Instead of congratulating you with warmth, an envious person might downplay your accomplishment or show indifference. Their words may seem supportive on the surface, but their tone or body language tells a different story. They might make a backhanded comment, subtly pointing out flaws in your achievement, or shift the conversation back to themselves. Sometimes their reaction is more passive. They avoid acknowledging your success altogether, leaving you wondering if they even noticed. Envy can also manifest in quiet negativity. A person might act as though your achievement somehow overshadows them, turning the moment into something about their struggles or limitations. This kind of reaction can feel confusing and deflating, especially when you are hoping for encouragement or celebration. Stoicism reminds us to focus on our path and not be overly swayed by others' reactions. When you recognize envy in someone's response, don't let it diminish your joy or sense of accomplishment. Instead, use the moment as an opportunity to practice compassion, understanding that their reaction reflects their struggles, not their worth. Stay grounded in your values and celebrate your success unapologetically. 9. Notice frequent complaints or criticism of others. One way to recognize envy or falsehood in others is by noticing how often they complain or criticize others. People driven by envy often project their insecurities or frustrations onto those around them. Instead of taking responsibility for their feelings or situations, they blame others for their lack of success or happiness. These constant complaints or criticisms may seem like a way to vent, but they often come from a place of resentment or jealousy. When someone is constantly pointing out the flaws in others, it can be a sign that they are comparing themselves and feeling inadequate. Instead of focusing on their growth or achievements, they find comfort in putting others down. This could be about anything, from the way someone dresses to their success at work or their relationships. No matter what the topic is, there's always something they criticize, usually without any constructive feedback or a genuine desire to help. In some cases, the criticism may not be direct, but rather masked as concern or advice. They might say things like, "I'm just trying to help," or "I'm just being honest," but their words are often meant to undermine or belittle the other person, not to encourage them. This behavior is rooted in envy, as they may feel threatened or inadequate compared to the person they are criticizing. By recognizing this pattern of negativity, we can understand that the true issue lies within the person who is constantly complaining. They are projecting their inner dissatisfaction onto others, making their criticisms less about the person they're targeting and more about their unresolved feelings. Understanding this can help us avoid internalizing their negative energy and remind us to focus on our growth and well-being. 10. Assess their willingness to take responsibility. A key sign of envy or falsehood in others is how they handle responsibility. People who are prone to falsehood often struggle with owning up to their mistakes or shortcomings. Instead of accepting blame or taking responsibility for their actions, they tend to deflect or make excuses. This behavior can be subtle at first, but it becomes clearer over time. When things go wrong, they may try to shift the blame onto others, point out external factors, or simply deny their involvement. This tendency to avoid accountability often comes from a deep fear of being exposed or judged. Those driven by envy or falsehood might be unwilling to admit their flaws or mistakes because doing so would make them feel vulnerable or inadequate. In an attempt to maintain their image or avoid criticism, they choose to hide the truth or manipulate the situation in their favor. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and others are left questioning their integrity. On the other hand, individuals who are honest and secure in themselves are more likely to take responsibility for their actions, even when it's difficult. They understand that making mistakes is part of growth, and that accountability leads to improvement. In contrast, those who avoid responsibility often use manipulation or deceit to cover up their true intentions. Recognizing this behavior can help us avoid being influenced by individuals who prioritize self-preservation over honesty and integrity. It also serves as a reminder for us to stay accountable in our own lives, embracing responsibility as a tool for personal growth and authenticity. 11. Trust your intuition. Trusting your intuition is one of the most valuable tools you have when it comes to recognizing envy or falsehood in others. Often, our gut feelings can pick up on subtle cues that our conscious mind might overlook. When something feels off in a person's behavior, whether it's an uneasy interaction or an awkward response to a situation, it's important to listen to that inner sense. Your intuition can often sense when someone is not being genuine, even when their words or actions seem fine on the surface. The power of intuition lies in its ability to detect inconsistencies and hidden motives that may not be immediately apparent. You might notice that someone's behavior doesn't match the energy they project, or that their actions don't align with their words. These feelings of discomfort, though difficult to explain, are often the result of subconscious observations that your mind has made without you fully realizing it. It's important to trust these instincts and not dismiss them as paranoia or overthinking. Envy and falsehood are often disguised in ways that seem harmless or even flattering at first, but your intuition can help you see through these facades. By paying attention to your gut feelings, you protect yourself from potentially harmful interactions and relationships. Moreover, trusting your intuition allows you to stay grounded in your authenticity, ensuring that you don't let manipulation or deceit take root in your life. Always remember, your instincts are there to guide you toward truth, even when it's hidden beneath layers of deception. Recognizing envy and falsehood in others is essential for protecting your peace of mind and maintaining authentic relationships. When you can spot these traits, you can avoid being influenced by them, ensuring that you don't allow negativity or deception to disrupt your inner calm. Understanding the signs of envy and falsehood helps you stay true to your values and prevents unnecessary conflict. It allows you to build stronger, more genuine connections with those around you while distancing yourself from people who may not have your best interests at heart. As you become more aware of these behaviors, remember to focus on your responses rather than trying to change the people around you. In Stoic philosophy, we learn that we cannot control others, but we have complete control over how we react to them. We must manage our reactions with wisdom, keeping our minds clear and our hearts open to what is truly important. By focusing on cultivating your virtue and peace, you ensure that external negativity does not disturb your inner harmony. Remember, the only person you have the power to change is yourself. Stay grounded in your integrity and let that be the shield against envy and falsehood that may come your way.